Alright, so now let's talk about customer service important terminology. So in the previous module, you learned about the sales module terms, and also I've shown you the demo. It goes more in detail, which we cover in the advanced courses, but I guess to get started with this and be aware of what exactly it is sufficient for you to start. Right, so let's talk about now customer service important terminologies. So the first important term in the customer service module is cases. So cases allow companies to resolve issues faced by their customers. So when you have implemented Dynamics 365 for yourself and you have customers, and if any of the customers face any challenges related to your product or service, then they raise a complaint, right? That they raise an issue. So that issue can be managed using cases and can be resolved using cases functionality in Dynamics 365. So all you can do is you can create a case, then you need to assign a service agent, the person who will be responsible for resolving that case, right? Then the case is resolved and communicated to the customer. And in case if customer says that no, case is still not resolved because the problem still persists, then you might need to reopen the case, solve the problem, and then close the case. Right, so that's how the cases are used, and it is very useful feature to improve the customer experience and solve customer problems. The next important term is the calendar. So the calendar is a place where you can see all the service activities scheduled. So here you can see the resource-wise service scheduling. So all the services that are being scheduled and resource are assigned, you can see in a single calendar, right? So you can see the view in month view, a week view, or day view as well. Okay, so we'll talk about that. And also it shows the activities with status. So what is the current status? Is it not started, in progress, or completed, right? So you will see those things. Plus you can also synchronize this with Outlook if you're using it, and whatever activities you have created in Dynamics 365 or in Outlook, it will be synchronized and you can see a central view, right? So that's how the calendar is used to keep track of all the activities and resources. The next one is queues. So queues are a really important concept in Dynamics 365, and they are used to organize, prioritize, and monitor the work progress. So for example, if you receive a case and you need to know that the case must be resolved by a team, so what you can do is you can send the case to a specific team queue, right? And whoever is the part of the team is gonna see that case and can pick up and start working on that. So it can really help you automate the process of assignment and also prioritize the work based on the requirements. So you can create two kind of queues. You have public queues and private queues. So public queues, you will see all the items are visible to everyone, and in the private queues, only people who are part of that queue will be able to see that. And it may be used for the different level of cases, like you have high priority cases, normal priority cases, and low priority cases, right? So a high priority case must be routed to a high priority queue, which is taken care by a highly specialized resources. Okay, similarly for the low priority cases. So based on that, it can help you prioritize that what cases must be resolved based on the priority. And when you assign any record like cases to a queue item is created, right? So that's something we'll see. The next important term is KB articles. So an article can be used for knowledge base for service agents. So when customer raise any problem, the service agents must be equipped with the information that they need to give to the customer, right? So they can ask some questions and then they can search for the product guides or any information and give the answer to the customer, right? So those kind of things can be done using knowledge base. So it can include product guides and data sheets. It can also be used to capture frequently asked questions. Also the problem solution, like in case if customer says that they have raised a case and they want to resolve this case, then they can just open a document that explains the solution of the problem, and the service agent can explain to the customer how to resolve it, right? So those kind of things can be done. Plus it can be a standard operating procedure or SOPs, which is a step-by-step process to perform any task, right? So all these things, which is known as knowledge base, is stored in KB articles. The next important term we have is entitlements. So with entitlements, you can specify the support term based on the number of hours or cases. So when you are in business with a customer and they take support from you, you need to have a contract, right? So earlier it was used to be called as contract. Now it is going to replace the contract. In the coming versions, the contract functionality will be removed and entitlements will be used. So you can have an entitlement with a customer based on like how many hours of support they can take from you, or how many number of cases they can get resolved in like a month or in a year. So you can create an entitlement. Okay, so there are two types. One is number of cases, how many cases they can get resolved in a specific period, or how many numbers of hours of support they can take from your company in a specific period, right? And you can also use entitlement template so that you don't need to create it from scratch, but it is not mandatory to use entitlement templates. Like in the previous versions, or if you talk about the contract can be created only when you have the contract template, right? But in the entitlements, there's a flexibility. You can directly start with entitlement creation, or you can use a template as well. And the next one you have is services. So a service is a work performed for a customer, right? So it's just a kind of task that you perform for the customer, and it includes that what kind of task it is, the description of that, what is the duration of that particular task, like how much time does it take to finish that task, how many resources you need to accomplish that task, where exactly the work will be done. Is it at the customer site or your own premises? So you define the site requirements, and it's also used by the service scheduling engine that suggests resources based on the requirements. So you capture all the work that you perform for a customer in terms of service in the services. So these are the important terms you must be aware of for customer service. And please note that customer service module will also have accounts, contacts, products, goals, metrics, and these are same as the sales module, right? So that's something I'm not repeating again, but you will see the same link. So if you go to sales module and click accounts, and if you go to service module and click accounts, you will see the same interface. It's just a different link that is available, right? So that's something I'm not explaining, which we have already covered in the previous module, right? So these are the important terms for customer service, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial.